Hi, how you doing? So I have a troll that comes to my page named Andrea. And she comes to my page all the time and she tries to fact check me or tries to put her opinion on my page. And I allow that. I allow people to have a voice. But what I don't allow is I don't allow people like her or anybody else to try to tell me what I've been through, what I've seen, and try to fact check my life experience. Um, because people who call themselves liberals right now, people who call themselves progressives, and people who have been making laws, especially the people in the Democratic Party, some people in the Republican Party, but many of the people in the Democratic Party are the same people who have been calling me niggers in the 60s and 70s. Same people who would walk across the street when I was walking down the street. The same people who would clutch their purse or follow me in stores. These are the same people now who say Black Lives Matter, who say, oh, I'm for black this and I'm for black that. You know, these are the same people. It's the same thing when you talk about the Black Lives Matter organization, right? And how bullshit that they are. And I'm swearing today, all right? Because they claim to represent black folks. But when you go to their website and when you listen to them, everything that they're representing and presenting as black folks believing is bullshit. Reparations, stealing and looting is reparations for them. Burning buildings down, causing mayhem. That's reparations for me. That's reparations for my children. And if you notice, the people who have taken over the narratives, it's the same damn type of people for years that have been calling me a nigger. I grew up in the 60s and the 70s, right? I had nigger spray painted on my home. I've had my car. I remember nights being in my house, having my parents' car destroyed. I remember riots from the 70s. I've been discriminated against. I've been pulled over by the cops just for driving and disrespected. But there's a difference between police brutality and police being assholes and then police killing people, targeting and killing people. I'm afraid of people my color. I'm afraid for my children to go out into communities in the inner city because they have went to their cousins' funerals that were shot. My children have already experienced what black people do to each other. And none of them, out of all the people in my life that have been buried, none of them were killed by a police officer, but all of them were killed by people with my skin pigmentation. So, Andrea, you can read your damn resume off all you want. You can tell me how you've volunteered and what you teach and all that bullshit, right? You tell me when you become a black man in this country for 60 plus years. You tell me that. Let me tell you something. When my brother-in-law was killed about a month ago, It brought back all the memories of nephews that were buried because of the same thing. It brought back memories of friends who have been buried because of the same thing. There was a time in the 60s and 70s that we were afraid of the white man. And then we realized that we also had to fear the black man. I've had more guns pointed at me by black men than I have overseas. I've been to Iraq. I've been to Iran. Not Iraq, Afghanistan. I've been to Libya. I've been to China. I've been to Russia. I've been to 48 different countries. And I've had more guns pointed at me by black men and black women. These people out here yelling and screaming about white supremacists and KKK. The KKK is from the same damn party that you guys are supporting. The same damn party that you're supporting. And you tell me, how many white supremacists are killing black folks in Chicago, in Detroit, in Baltimore, in LA? How many white supremacists are pulling the trigger every night on little kids, on women, on children? You know where the white supremacists probably work at? In Planned Parenthood. That's where the white supremacists probably work at. So folks, stop falling for the narrative from the left. Because like I said, these are the same damn people who, in fact, I know a couple of them. I know a couple of them who have called me names in the back, in the past. I know a couple of them who have discriminated against me in the past, who claim Black Lives Matter now. Holy shit, Black Lives Matter to them now. Are you kidding me? There's one woman who treated me like shit. Who would be rude to me, who would say some nasty things to me. And she has a nerve now to say Black Lives Matter. So folks, get your head out of your asses. Seriously. Get them out. Let's stop this stuff. Let's stop listening to these people who believe that they can continuously sucker you into voting for them and into believing the things that they want to tell you. Made up shit. And we all know it's made up. You all know it's made up. If you were smart and you did some research, you would see that it's made up shit. They want to avoid everything that's happening. They want to avoid the fact that 51% of black men don't have an education over high school. They want to ignore the fact that Planned Parenthood's #1 customer are black women. They want to ignore the fact that black men, women, and children are being slaughtered in the streets of inner cities every single day. And what is their... Oh, well, white people are killing each other at the same rate. It's not the same rate, folks, because black people only make up 13% of the population. 13% of the population. and they're killing themselves at a higher rate. They're killing themselves on the street. They're killing themselves with drugs. They're killing themselves at Planned Parenthood. They're killing themselves because they have to work extra hard because they're not finishing and getting educated. So they have to work at 2 and 3 and 4 jobs. They're killing themselves because they're not taking care of themselves. They're dying from diabetes. You talk about healthcare. It's amazing. You had this president and Biden talk about healthcare, and now they're saying healthcare for all. Well, what do you think that means for you, black folks? Because they want black folks to vote for them, yet healthcare and Medicaid for all, right, means that all these people who are coming into this country illegally will be getting care. And what do you think that's going to do for you? Let me explain something to you. All you people who have dealt with the pandemic over the last several months, what happened to your health care? How many of you were put on a waiting list? How many of you were canceled because of this pandemic? Well, can you imagine what will happen if you had Medicare for all? Can you imagine what will happen? You see, you got to look into some of these things that they are trying to promote. You have to look into a lot of these things that they're trying to promote. If they try to say to you that the government is going to take care of you, that's the red flag that you're looking for right there. If they try to tell you that we're going to make it so that you can take care of yourself, then you better sign on to it. We live in a country where we can be anything that we want to be. You had a black man become president of the United States, and you still saying systematic racism. Are you out of your mind? You're whining and complaining about the government. You're talking about President Trump doing this, doing that, when the real people who are doing it to you are the idiots that you continuously elect to office in your state and local governments. Look at Detroit. Look at Baltimore. 40 and 50 years. You've been voting for the same damn people. And you're blaming President Trump for it? You didn't blame Barack Obama when he ignored you for 8 years, did you? For 8 damn years he ignored you. And how many of you blamed him for that? But yet, now you're blaming Trump for the shit that your state and local government are doing. When are you going to wake up? Educate yourself. So this video, I am sure, is going to be taken down. But you guys hear what I'm saying. This is real life. This is truth. If you don't like it, too bad. But if you come to my page and you try to troll me, or you try to tell me how it should be, or try to fact check me on my life and my experience, you go to 48 different countries. You see how poor people actually live. You go to Indonesia and see those poor children who live on the street, who try to survive every day by coming up with something to do. They freaking get a little bit of money and they go to gas stations and they fill Coke bottles full of gas and they stand on the side of the road and try to sell it to people because they drive a lot of motorcycles and mopeds and stuff. They try everything. And then you have people who will come and you will take those children and rape them and use them as sex slaves. You go to China and you see how bad they're treated. You see how bad the children are treated. You see how bad the women are treated. Go to Saudi Arabia and see how bad women are treated. You guys have no clue. And you talk about Africa. They still have the slave trades in Africa. They kill people over diamonds in Africa. Go to South Sudan. I've been there. You tell me. I've been to places where warlords hack you to death. I've been to places where warlords steal children and make them, indoctrinate them, bring them into their clan and have them go back into their village and kill people in their village. I've seen rows and rows of dead people. I can't forget the smell. And you people are whining and complaining about the United States and have a friggin' nerve to step on our flag and have a damn nerve to kneel during the anthem. You guys have no friggin' clue. You guys have no friggin' clue. You're burning buildings. You're taking businesses and you're destroying them. Are you destroying the big businesses? No. You're destroying mom and pop businesses. You're destroying livelihoods. You're taking jobs away from people who look like you. You're looting and rioting companies where people who are trying to make a living, who are trying to pay their rent, who are trying to pay their car note, who are trying to take care of their family, no longer have jobs. And you talk about this is your reparations? It's okay because it's your reparations? Get your heads out of your asses, folks. And do the right thing. Vote in November. Stop putting these same damn people back in power. The same damn people that ignore you every 4 years. The same damn people who say you were born as a victim. You were born as a failure. And you can't make it in all by yourself. You can't make it. Yet you had a black president. You have black folks in the Democratic, they have a black national conference. Right? What the hell do they do for you? They're the ones that are telling you that you're the victim and you can't make it? The Black Caucus? How did they make it? How the hell did they make it? And they're telling you that you can't make it? You have a president that talks about, an ex-president who talks about systematic racism and all this bullshit, right? However, he became president. And he didn't become president just because of the black vote. He became president because of all the votes that he received from black, from white, from Asian, from everybody who supported him. You have Kamala Harris, an Indian woman, talk about systematic racism. Well, how the hell did you get into the positions that you did? And I don't want to hear about the sex shit. No matter what she did, she's still in a position of power. So let's stop with the systematic racism bullshit. And let's start with folks taking advantage of a country that gives you opportunities to make something of yourself, gives you opportunities to become president of the United States, gives you the opportunity to become president, a nominee for vice president, gives you the opportunity to become a world-renowned pediatric neuro surgeon. That same person that is a world-renowned pediatric neurosurgeon is someone who did the first surgery to separate Siamese twins from the head. That person ate out of trash cans. That person lived in a house without electricity. You had so many black people who were able to make it in this world. And you guys want to talk about systematic racism. How about the people who were actually slaves, who became free, who made something of themselves? Our forefathers. Thurgood Marshall. How about him? You think he had systematic racism? Frederick Douglass. You think he had systematic racism? You folks are sad. You're sad. Because all you look for is excuses. I had a point in my life where I was homeless. Yes, I did. And I made it. I pulled myself up. I said, I'd rather fight than become like people that I knew that were homeless. People who were and we used to go to a place called the Pine Street Inn. And you had to be there by a certain time. 6 o'clock, I believe it was. And if you weren't there by 6 o'clock, right, they didn't let you in. So that meant that you wouldn't have a warm place to sleep. That meant that you wouldn't have anything to eat unless you went and begged or dug in a trash can for it. And even when you were in there were rapes that happened. They stole your stuff. Fights. Oh yeah, that was me. I was homeless at one point in my life. And I went back and I got my education, finished my education, got my doctorate, and now I have everything that I ever dreamed of. I have a loving family, a loving wife, beautiful kids, successful kids who got their education, who are becoming something, who are not letting any excuse stop them from becoming what they wanted to become. Who are not allowing anything to stop them from doing the things that they want to do. I have a bullet in my back, by the way, that presses on a nerve. That causes me pain all the time. People who know me, you know this. You know what happens to me during the day. But I don't allow excuses to come into my world. I don't allow excuses to give me the feeling of victimhood. So wake up. Let's stop this. And trolls, you better come with some ammunition, because I'm fully loaded. I can debate you, and I can destroy your narrative. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. This is about us as a country. It's not about just one race. It's about all of us. It's about all of us not allowing people to separate us, to divide us, to give us excuses. This is about all of us coming together. You can have a difference of opinion. It's okay to have a difference of opinion. But when you bring it as if I'm the bad guy and you're the good guy, and what you say is right and what I say is wrong, we have a problem. I accept the fact that somebody has a difference of opinion. I may not agree with you. I may debate you on it. But I served this country so that you could have a right to your opinion. God bless you. Thanks for sharing. Have a wonderful, wonderful night.